Hi, it's Akemi. This is Akemi Kai Inner Beauty. I believe we can change our outer world by changing our inner world. I like to talk about law of assumption and inner work. And today, my topic is ghosts. The work is to liberate ghosts. What are ghosts? Ghosts are just looping, right? What's PTSD? Looping, mental looping. Looping back on a traumatic experience, looping. Does it exist in the present? No. Does it exist anywhere? No. Only in your head, right? The past does not exist anymore. So when we have PTSD from our past traumas, we're like, when you see that those images of like a car, like just married, it says on the back of the car, and it's got this like these trails with all these tin cans behind it. Like that's what we're like. We're like going through life with these trails of like all these tin cans like banging around behind us. What are those? Every single one of those cans is like one of our traumas. They're ghosts. They're ghosts, right? They're our ghosts. They're our ghosts. Me at 5 years old, me at 3 years old, me at 7 years old. Every single one of them is a memory, right? Could be a picture in your head that you have. Could be a little short video. It depends on how you store memory, right? Everybody stores memory in a slightly different way. Could be a feeling in your body with no pictures. Could be a smell. Um, Memories can be stored by our mind in different ways, right? Could be a picture, could be a video, could be a feeling in the body, could be a scent, could be uh, could just be a very strong emotion that comes over you repetitively. Could be recurring dreams. Have you ever had a dream where you're in the dream and you go all of a sudden while you're sleeping, you're like, wait a minute, I've had this dream before. Actually, I've been having this version of this dream over and over and over and over for years. Actually, I've been dreaming this dream ever since I was a kid. The same dream, but like in a different way every time, right? Have you had those kind of experiences? So these are like all the tin cans banging around behind us. What are they? There are ghosts, right? And what is a ghost? A ghost is looping. It's like stuck. It's like, again, I'm going to talk about computer program because it's easy for people to understand these kinds of things. Um, it's like a virus on your computer. Your mind is like a computer. So that would be like a virus on your computer where there's some code that has a glitch and it's just looping. It just loops over and over again. And anytime it gets triggered, it gets stuck in that loop. It's like the page on your MacBook or your laptop that's just got that little circle going ad infinitum, right? It gets stuck in a loop. That's what it is. It's a loop, right? Your brain is not different from a computer. It's more sophisticated than the ones we've developed, but AI is catching up to that, right? What are ghosts in the world out there? They're really loops. They're echoes of past characters that have existed here that are stuck looping, some fragment of something stuck looping. People who have psychic abilities are really just open to seeing like a dimension that's called the astral or whatever, that's the realm of thought, right? It's collective consciousness. They have the ability to see images that are being projected by mind. They're not just seeing the 3D material world, right? They're people that have another level of perception active. And so they can see these things, they can perceive these things. But when you can perceive them, what you'll see is that they're just an echo, like an echo of something that was here before that's looping, or other entities and things like that that are moving around in that dimension are like thought forms or beings that move around in that dimension that have like a different agenda or whatever. Anyways, that's a discussion for another day. However, we're stuck on ghosts today. So ghosts, okay, so ghosts are when our mind is looping. So how to get out of that? how to get out of it is, in my experience, how to get out of these things, how to break these open. Okay, if it's the same. It doesn't matter whether it's a ghost out in the world out there that's clamoring around in the world that's stuck, or whether it's your own ghost in your own mind that's clamoring around, that's getting triggered and looping. It's the same thing. The way to interrupt the loop is that, first of all, you have to become aware of it. You have to notice it. So you have to turn your focus of attention toward it. That's the first step. You have to notice it. Then you have to turn toward it. Then you have to make a connection with it. Since it's something that's outside of the present time and it's looping, it's caught in its own moment. So connecting with it can be a little bit challenging because it's not paying attention to you. It's paying attention to this thing it's reliving over and over and over and over and over and over. And it's stuck in that loop, right? And it's not aware of itself. It's lost awareness of its time. It's lost awareness of its connection to source. It's lost awareness of its context of what's going on outside of it that it's looping in, right? So you need to turn your focus of awareness onto it, and then it's your work to connect with it. How do you connect with it? Well, in many people's experience, and it's my experience too, you witness it first. You witness it. You start looking at it. You start paying attention to it. You start seeing what's going on with it. You start speaking observations from your point of view about what you're witnessing. I see that you're in whatever location. Let me make up something so it's not completely vague. Let's say it's a memory that you've decided to work on, and it's in a dream that you've been having recurring of a house you're in. And you know, when you wake up, that house kind of looks like, in the dream, it's always different, right? But that house kind of looks like this house that I lived in when I was 12. Okay, so there must be a fragment of me stuck in that timeline, in that moment, in that period of time in my past when I was living in that house when I was that age. So let's go for it. Okay, so I would start by closing my eyes and going into a sort of like a meditation by myself. Lay down, close your eyes, go into the memory, and use your visualization and your imagination. So I would go into that memory, and I would imagine myself, the today self, standing at the edge of that memory, looking into it, and I would notice everything I notice. I see this house. I see you're stuck in this house. I see you're stuck in this time. I see you're doing, what are they doing? I see you're feeling, what are they feeling? Keep saying things to that part until they realize you're there. This is called compassion, okay? This is called giving compassion. But what you're doing is you're witnessing, okay? So then essentially what you do is you continue to witness until that part like becomes aware of you and snaps out of their looping, and then you start connecting with how they're feeling, and you start allowing those feelings, those emotions to actually come through into your body, and you feel them, and then you release them, and then that thing just kind of poof, like a balloon that got popped, right? That's like the short answer to how to do this work. I go into it in a longer version in a video on this page, so you can go look for it. What I want to talk about, this idea of like the work that we're doing here is to liberate ghosts. Because that's really all the work is. The work is to become aware of our own ghosts and liberate them one by one by one, so that there's no longer anything clanging around behind us and tying us to the past, so that we can be fully in the present and we can consciously generate our present, free of the interference of those things, feel free of the energy drain of those things. Like, so much energy is being drained out of us that's used up in those things. Every time you pop one of those and bring it back, you're going to reclaim a lot of energy and a lot of presence in the current moment. And as you do that work, you become more and more present in the current moment, and you have more of your power available and accessible to you in generating your current present, right? That's all that is here, right? Is the eternal present. And when we're working with timelines, we're really just using our imagination to travel to different moments in time, points in time. And the points in time are these crystallizations of these memories we have that stuck with us. And the reason they stuck with us is because there was something overwhelming about that moment in time that we couldn't process at the time. Our nervous system couldn't handle it. Our age was such that our ego, our personality, didn't have enough context to be able to contextualize it and give it meaning and understand it. And then we couldn't feel the feelings and let go of it. So it didn't get processed, okay, in this complex that we have of personality, ego, emotional capacity, and nervous system electrical charge, right? So we've got this electrical charge stuck in our nervous system. We've got this echo stuck in our memory, and we've got this emotional content stuck in our body somewhere. And in Chinese medicine, they talk about the 5 organs of the body, like the 5 organ systems is kind of, they talk about anyway. It's very interesting because in the West, we think like the body is just like a brain, and then the nervous system, and then the organs are kind of all like these, like parts of a car, right? They're like parts of the engine, and the brain is like making it all go. But in Chinese medicine, and Chinese medicine, by the way, extends into other Asian countries and cultures. There's a Korean version of it. There's a Japanese version of it. You know, there's, I would say there's a system, Ayurvedic system in India, which has some similarities. Like those two medicine systems both come from ancient cultures from a long time ago who saw things in a different way. And they saw us as being multidimensional beings, not just 3D material beings. We have different dimensionality to our existence. So the mind is its own dimension, like that's the mental dimension. The emotions are a dimension, that's the emotional body. You know, the material body, the physical body is just one, right? There's the physical body, there's the mental body, there's the dream body, there's the emotional body, there's the spiritual body. Like these go up, right? Their frequencies are different frequencies. They're vibrating at different frequencies. They are existing in different dimensions of this place. And in order to clear our energy and remove stuckness that allows us to be more present here in the moment, which is the reality unfolding, we need to pull our energy back from places where it got stuck and crystallized in those different dimensions of reality, right? So when we talk about timeline work in Law of Assumption, timeline jumping, shifting to a different timeline, what we're really talking about is changing our frequency to be able to resonate with a different version of reality. So Law of Assumption is that the Big Bang creation happened and everything happened already, right? So everything, past, present, future, every possible potential choice, all of that already exists and we're in the middle of it, and that we're alternating our frequency to tap into whatever version of reality like we want to ride. Let's call it a video game because it's like the best video game out there, right? The human experience is like the most sophisticated video game in the galaxy. Incarnate into a body, learn how to drive this vehicle, how to control it, how to operate it within this multi-dimensional, holographic, multi-timeline existence that was created all at once, right? That's what law of assumption is. It's a very complex view on reality, very different from what we were taught growing up, how we were raised, what we were taught in Sunday school, whatever. It's a very different understanding of what we're doing here, what we are, what our nature is, what reality's nature is, and how to exist in it and how to be empowered in it. Okay, it's really big about empowerment. I want to talk about that. It's like radical accountability. Radical accountability, because all the world's religions have gotten like completely off base. Okay, they're completely off base because it's easier for us to project our power onto something over there and then either pray to it or just become like passively like surrendered to like, either I'm going to go to the temple and burn incense to Buddha and pray for what I want. And if I don't get it, I'm going to say, oh, well, God is so far beyond me as a little human, I can't possibly understand the workings of such a great God. This passive, like, relationship to reality that we have, that's a huge problem, because it's easier for us to become a devotee of a God that we invent and project all our power onto. It's so much easier than to accept our own power, accept that we aren't separate from the creative force, that we aren't separate from it. It's not out there. It's not up there. It's not somebody who died 2,000 years ago, right? In those beings that we idolize in our writings, our sacred texts, we collected stories about their lives and tried to tell them, and now we've created these massive religions around them. And people argue and fight with each other about what this verse of scripture means, right? And you can go to church every single Sunday to pray and make yourself feel in alignment with these great righteous ideas and feelings in your body, and then go back home to your life where you're not accepting radical accountability for how you're generating your reality because you just projected it out there. Like, I'm just going to pray to God for this thing that I want, and if I don't get it, oh, well, God is beyond me, so far beyond me that I can't possibly understand the will and the workings of God, so that's why I didn't get what I wanted. It's easier for us to do that than to take our power and own it and realize how responsible we are for generating the reality that we're in. We want our political leaders to solve the problems for us. We want someone else, the scientists, to fix the environment for us. We want our avoidant ex to love us. It's not different, right? The avoidant, anxious trap. It's not different. I'm going to project my power onto that person over there who's unavailable, and pine and pine and pine and want them to love me. And when they don't, I hate them and I blame them and I give them a psychological diagnosis and a label and I make them the bad guy. Because it's easier to do that than to come home into myself and find the part of me that hurts and love it. Right? So our problem is that we are projecting our power. We're giving it away. We just don't want it. We don't want to have our power. We don't want to own our power. We don't want to be responsible, because if we take our power inside us, we are so responsible. We're so responsible. And we're like, as humans, as a race at this point in our timeline, our current timeline on this planet, in this story that we're all sharing, we don't want to be responsible. We want aliens to come from out there and rescue us from how we've polluted our planet. We want God to come in the rapture and beam us all up and take us to some heaven, which, by the way, what is that? What is that exactly? Praising God for eternity. What the heck is that? What would that be? That's so strange. What a strange concept. That you live your life down here and it sucks the whole time and you're being attacked by demons every day. I've seen prayer warriors on TikTok casting demons out of saliva. The demons of saliva, get them out. Their whole existence is, there's an unseen world around me. It's filled with Satan's hierarchy of negative spiritual warriors that are attacking me 24 hours a day, even through my saliva. And I'm just supposed to be fighting it all day long with the power of Jesus. Like, what kind of reality are you generating there? Wow, talk about projecting your power outward everywhere onto everything else and making everything you can imagine responsible for your reality instead of you. Like, split it into black and white, good and bad, and project all your power outwards onto good, absolute good, and absolute evil that are constantly at war with each other and constantly attacking you. And you've got to get help praying nonstop to the good ones out there to protect you nonstop from the bad ones that are attacking you from out there. Like, what's going on in here? Where is your power that you're not separate from God? I don't even want to use that term because it's so loaded with all the religious nonsense that humans have created over the past 2,000 years. Source, creation, is everything and in everything, and nothing is separate from it. Nothing, not you, and nothing is separate from it. It's animating everything. And you have it running through you, and you are generating your reality. How are you generating your reality? How? The work is cleaning up the ghosts. The work is removing the mind viruses from your computer brain. The work is taking radical responsibility for what you're generating, for the reality you're generating, for your co-creation here as part of this thing that's going on that is very multidimensional and complex, as you are. But at your core, you are just a square of reflection on that disco ball, generating reality every moment of every day from whatever's going on inside you, from your internal conversations that you're having. Not the 5-year goal plan. The conversations you're having inside your own head every single day, all day long. The dreams that are going on in your subconscious at night. The dreams that are going on while you're driving on autopilot on the freeway, commute to work. The stories you're telling yourself when you should be listening to what that person in front of you is actually saying and taking it in and giving them the benefit of the doubt that they're wishing you well, instead of putting this filter over it that says something else, distorting, you're not really receiving, right? All this is what we're clearing away. The work is to free up the ghosts. It's to free up everything that's stuck and crystallized in some point in time in the past. Does it make sense? Jesus wasn't a Christian. He was being. So much so. He was being here. He was being here. He was showing up. Same with Buddha. He wasn't going to the temple to pray for his ancestors. He wasn't lighting incense and praying to God to give him enlightenment. He was doing his work. He was doing his work. And the stories about Buddha, also, like, how intact are any of our stories? Because the stories written about these people that are from so many years ago, right, in human history, the stories were written down by other humans around them who did not have it going on. They weren't at the level of clarity of mind that those beings were. Yet we make the things they write down so sacred, so literal, right? So literal, so accurate, must be downloaded from God himself up there somewhere. We need to be doing our inner work, not projecting our power onto a deity out there and praying to it and asking it to direct our life. And we also don't want to be so passive that we're just like, oh, well, who am I? I'm so powerless. I'm so small in comparison to God. How can I possibly understand the workings of such a great mind? I'm just a human. When I was growing up, went home to visit my family one time. And I walked into the kitchen with a can and I was like, where's your recycle bin? And I was told, oh, we don't recycle. I mean, God's going to come back and destroy this whole earth and take us to heaven anyway. I'm not lying to you. Someone in my family said that to me when I was like 20. That's us creating some pretty wild narratives instead of being responsible for the reality we're generating, right? Food for thought. See you next time.